Come on. We might be starting already. Come on, you're doing it. Yay. Turn it around. All right. Turn it around. Yay. Okay. Good. Everything's functioning. And hi, everybody. I'm going to get the computer. Yeah. Hello. It's a device that everyone uses nowadays. Please say on the chat if you can hear me correctly as I get my final thing going. And I hope everyone is doing well today. Oh good. I'm glad it's doing well. I'm going to get the phone call up now. And, okay, so I'm going to suspend you. Please stay on. You're suspended. Re-verify the tech, please. How's everybody doing? Thank you for showing up on this broadcast. This broadcast happens to be the Master Codes, and it's Alchemy of Soul. And the reason this is called that is because destiny is so intrinsically linked to how our soul operates in a corporeal temple, like a body, that it is the main driving device, instruction set that keeps we stay on course, right? So destiny is like the original thing. This is your user manual and stuff. And even though we often don't feel like we're following it, there is the destiny pattern, of course, that then can really get going. So as I do this, we rock and roll. So thank you everybody for attending this season 25, Vessels of Destiny, episode 7. And this one, like I said, is the Master Codes, Alchemy of Soul. And so this is where Kartron is going to take you guys, and we're going to access the master code set. I don't know if you guys know about master files in computers, but this is the one that can access the rest of the program. And so it seemed like it's time to do that, because you guys are really the great thing that pushes us to the edge of like, well, what are we going to do now? Because we've gotten their bodies of the new earth and all that, got timeline fixed and stuff. I was like, well, we're going to have to just keep getting you guys ready. Now, next month is going to be very interesting, which is going to start in, I don't know, 15 days or so. And so this is going to be about literally creating, consenting, and claiming your own future timeline. Because really, we realize that there is no, you know, oh, yes, okay, so you want to know about how my health is, and I'll tell you about some very interesting things, and I want you guys to see if you literally would like to hear more of this, because it was very interesting sitting in the temple of Dentrifice and Pain. Remember that description? And so you're not on. Good. You're not on, right? There's Rebecca. Okay, good. And so, yes. So anyway, it's very unique because while I was sitting there and had the several shots of the Novocaine or whatever, this is a 45-minute amount. So she actually put it in, and she hurried after I had about 10 of those, and then she was able to clean down to the deep where the roots are by the bone. And that's where it really needed to get done, because once you scale off, then my gums start growing back. And that, of course, is part of the dental health. And so now that I've taken the emergency out, like I said, but what was interesting is how I dealt with the pain, because I had three pains, like I rebroke my little foot, and then I had this elbow, the nerve, and then I had the mouth thing going on, which didn't make me a very happy camper. Hello. And so it's like, what do I do about this? So while I was sitting there and she was working on different tooth groups, and I can show you how clean it is, which may be kind of weird, me showing my teeth to you guys. but they are really clean. And now the gums will be able to start growing back, which then stabilizes this. And then I have an indigenous, it's called the Grow Network. And if you guys are interested, I can show you. It's a really cool program that has a starter kit, a DVD, and a download of the same thing of this guy who studied with for years indigenous people and also watched animals take care of their teeth. There's a certain herb that grows everywhere, they said, that then you can use to do this and even heal cracks in your teeth because your teeth are alive. They have minerals that then come in and work with the saliva. And it's just really interesting because, like they said, most people think of their teeth like rocks, like they're not alive or whatever, even though rocks are. And so there's a way that I'm going to go now and see how much alternative and indigenous ancestral way, because what did they do when they didn't have an overpriced dentist, to do this? So I've always found that, of course, the original stewardship approach, like the Hawaiians to wash their hair, what they would do is go into streams, and then I think it would be the aopui uh, plant. It's a flower that's red, and so they would bang it on their head, and some soapy stuff would come out, and they would wash their hair. And so it's the indigenous approach that was, of course, thousands of years in the making that allowed them to stay out probably real fresh and clean. Um, and so yeah, that's the way I'm following because I found that the original versions of reality are the best. And that means peeling away the layers. And this is what this Vessels of Destiny series is about in some ways. Even though you're becoming vessels of destiny, it means getting through the different layers of reality till you get to that core, which is a very simplistic, aligned with the cosmos reality. And so, as I was looking at this and I had the pain and she was there and I was feeling some nerves and I was just like, please, let's get this over with. Although it was mostly gone, I'd feel it. So I thought, what if I could control nerve groups and just shut them off? And so then turn them on. So can I shut off a nerve group, which is like all where all pain emanates, then and then just turn it on. So that was one of the things I focused on, and also to get into the levels of sentient energy about that. So there was three or four things, and that was one of them was being able to control the nerve group functions. And another thing I thought about, well, maybe there'll be devices in the near future, or maybe even a parallel reality of a machine that's like a laser focus or something that can then shut down a nerve group so that surgery can happen, maybe without anesthesia. Wouldn't that be cool? Rebecca, a device that can just pulse something, it neutralizes the nerve, and they pulse it again and it comes on. So that would be a pain-free reality. Now imagine if you could control your body to that level, to such extent to where you wouldn't even need pain anymore. And then the whole other concept of what is this? Why is this in my life? Well, pain, disease, meaning out of balance, dis-ease, and so then what is that teacher teaching me? And then how do you redefine a relationship with that disease or the one giving it to you so that then you can literally have a different way to communicate with those things that are showing you and telling you things? I call it the shout because, if you don't take care of it when it whispers to you, then it gets a little louder and louder, and the shout comes out eventually where you can get an injury or a car accident or, 10 years of needed dental work. And so it's very interesting. And that's where I learned a gratefulness. And I also then didn't focus on the nerve that they had to go around, but it was actually the fact that because I love getting that stuff off your teeth. You ever feel that where you're like scraping it off, but sometimes it doesn't go? Well, she was able to get in there and just really, scrape it. So I focused on that instead of the nerve group, which was right next to it. I'm like, yes, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Arr, arr, get that stuff off my teeth. And so it's like your primal self was like, yes, come on, do more. And so it was a really interesting way for me to deal with pain, which I haven't been to a doctor for 30 or 40 years because I didn't need to. I didn't sign up for illness or ill health because I didn't knew I wouldn't have time if I'm going to be doing this service work to help others. Who has time to have downtime? And so then, of course, the other types of things that the body can do is get a sickness because you're not taking care of it. So then you will take some downtime and take care of yourself. How many of you really would admit to not taking care of yourself as much as you really should sometimes and taking me time out. So this also showed me, well, it is time for me time more. We are the hardest taskmasters, as you know, on ourselves. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to just relax and really be more honorable of this earth temple, which is the fleshy part of us. And it's like, okay, well, if you beat that up too much, then you're going to have a permanent thing you got to deal with. So this was very good, and that's the divine lessons I got out of these deep, sharp implements that were, doing what they had to. And thank God for the numbness. So I realized that needles are my friend in my mouth instead of the other stuff. Enough of that. How are you guys doing? Is everything great? Yeah. See, Madalena, not taking care of yourself. Guys, we did something interesting to this camper, and I want to show you, and then we'll get right into the vessels of destiny. This is really cool because um, for those who've done a walkthrough, you'll see it now. And so life is good. I'll just suspend these things. We decided in the midsection, where there was a bathroom and a vanity and a wall and then a shelf and then a toilet and another shelf and stuff like that with a folding curtain. Well, we decided because it's a camper, you don't have any load-bearing stuff really because it's all in the frame. So you can take away what you don't want. So we're going to show you what we have done with this. And so as we go through this, you're going to see, remember that section that was all closed off? That is well, you'll see in a moment. This was the bathroom with a vanity and then another a wall here. And then this was the tiny space for the toilet with the shelf. Is inserting what is called a pocket door, and that you buy at the hardware store. This thing, and the thing will slide. So saves 4 space in a room if you. And this shelf comes right there. So now you then take and you put this up. Now a toilet shelf is something that will work. Instead of if you guys, we're gonna, and then the water heater is over there. You can't see underneath of it, so use. And the reason I choose this in this plumbing wall, some very decayed wood. The particle board will basically fall, and it got damp over. And so as I opened on another big, beautiful, and I thought, oh hell no, ain't happening, no how. And I'm like, let's just take this. Do we really need a box? Do we really need a little cabinet thing here? Now this, and there was a here. So when you're designing, what you got to do is figure out how much shelf space in remodel. So now also this thing frame around it for a shower door that was on. So if we look at it there, so now we that up and have basically a master bath because we're not going to have that many guests. And so we don't poopy box at the same time as the bath, having a big resort here. And so for bath to go with, and so you might be hearing motorcyclists that try to kill themselves just now. So, and of course, we out here, little thing, the water, lock this door. It's like, really? And of course, we're going to redo the caps and save them. So, walls are decayed. So, to do that work rather than find it, why? So, I've decided that if I'm going to tear in the wall, the simple use extra box of space, and that's what the conclusion is. Well, let's just open it up, because in the 1980s, when this thing was here, right, then you basically it was to live in these compartmentalized spaces. right now, everything's opening up. If you look at if you're flipping houses or anything like that, you'll find that there's only 8 major kitchen designs in a lot of those software programs, and they all deal with open island kitchens. And so it's that thing that now it's time for spaciousness and all of that stuff. This part right here is going to become our studio and might even have a virtual background. And so that's what we're looking at doing. And I just wanted to tell you guys the update. And so isn't that cool? What? Is this working now? Could you please respond on the chat? Okay. The video, I don't know. What is going on with the video? All right, I'm gonna okay, flipping the camera if you get a choppy signal. Why? I got all these bars. Well, anyway, we're working with energy. Kartron's going to come through, everybody, and we'll talk to you later. Let's see how he's going to get the master codes to get the alchemy of soul going. Oh, yeah. Hi. Well, yeah, where's your charger? Aw. Um, so, guys, we'll talk to you later. Rebecca had this like, my phone's about to die. Well, you better say your goodbyes now, honey. You better charge it up. Yes, charge away, honey. You can do it. Hello, everybody. This is Kartron. How are you doing? Oh my God, that's really great. We're studying you. That's really nice. Oh, this is the way the world's going to happen. Everything's good. How are you doing? Yes, that's nice. All right, that's done. Session's over. Really, how are you folks doing? Because if you look at this whole shenanigan of polarity, you may have realized by now that this might not be the healthiest place to live. It's got all this polarity and issues and charges. And it's like all this, people are taking stuff so personal. And so there's no objectiveness. People are thrown into the subjectiveness of their own incompletions. And so they must go through the journey of the neither world, of the dark night of the soul, of all those places that they have not looked at. Because no matter what, the universe will keep you on schedule and make sure that you take care of everything. For if not, then you get to take it and work on it later in another incarnation. But as you may also realize, that there is not really another time to do this. This is the categorizing, the filing, and the organizing of that where the souls will be organized according to frequency. And they will then go to their respective dimensional planes and their dimensional worlds or whatever. As you also may know, this Earth is slated to go up. She is not going to be all, waiting for people that we need to ask for the 4,553rd time. Are you sure you want to still do polarity? And it's like, oh. So it's like, okay. The nature of the process then is such that because of your consensual choices, that you are now making that decision to see what dimension you want to be in. If you recall, on the 5th of November, before that historic vote, which now does a hand count, is we decided to have a vote on freedom because we had been talking for a few weeks because everybody's so caught up in the politics about what's really going on. And so it was about whether you wanted to continue to be the cattle of the food and the food source of those who were raising you and thinking that they owned you. It's this nature of this consumption that obviously you can't stay in if you're going to have any high path of life. You can, but then you've chosen the warrior path and you're going to be fighting for this existence in order to refine and prototype. And that's fine to be a mercenary, but some of you may be tired of getting all the punches when you are wondering why you should be paying the price so much when you can feel somewhere inside that that is not supposed to be. This isn't your stuff. Have you ever felt like that? And it's like, wait, this crap ain't mine. What the hell? Refund, please. Clean up on Planet 4, and I'm not there. And you'll recall that we have threatened the guides and the councils and the Atlanteans and Lemurians saying, guys, you're going to have to come here and do it because you guys are saying, ain't happening, no way, no how. And even if we put a little screaming kitten in a tree in another life, another dimension, are you going to fall for it this time? Maybe not. Oh, but there's a kitty that needs rescuing. I'll just incarnate and just get this cat. Uh-huh. So, well, since you're not really able to be, oh, look, a pretty sunset. Oh, a kitty. It's like, no, you are so done with that. That means that you have, in many ways, become unworkable as a Homo sapien. So, what to do? What to do? Get the hell out? No, it doesn't work. Mothership's not waiting. I left a message about 3,000 lives ago, and they're not coming. I've asked for help, and so this abandonment astrology that happened for the last 8 years, that made me feel really alone and out in the trenches by myself. So that's not really good. Oh, body pain, suffering, and everything else. I'm going to take on the collective. Well, that doesn't work. Oh, how about just being the one to be the punching bag of this stuff because I can do more because I am more resilient, stronger, better, faster. Like, what am I, a freaking bionic light worker? Sometimes you are. And so, since you're not really volunteering for any of that stuff anymore, and you can't be hoodwinked with delusional consensuality, well, then we guess we better finish you off, right? And get you guys up to that level. Now, here's the skinny on this, the default class. Now, can you guys hear? Is everything working? Okay. Now, here's the deal, kiddies. Um, isn't it nice to not have to be so easily, hey, why are we blurry? Wait for it. Come on. Phone, we're right here. Um, you guys are better, stronger, faster, more resilient, all that with the light workers because you have more switches on, you paid a greater price, but now you are in a much more greater position of leverage on this planet. For you know what the hell's going on. You know what's going on the other side of that curtain or that closet. And it's like, wait, Now you're waking up and realizing, oh, wait, this, I can choose this or not because we have the control. It wants to make sure that we think we do not have control. And as long as it can do that, then it's like, oh, okay, I'm still fooled, which means I must suffer or pay the price. Oh, woe is me. Bullshit. And so it's like, well, if you guys are done with that, then guess the other stuff has to happen because you, as sovereigns of the soul, are making your own consensual choices based upon disclosure. Patrick is realizing that based on what he has found with this whole reset, everything else, la di da, there's so much sleight of hand, so much uh, hall of mirrors, so much what is not, nothing is what it appears, that why vote for any of this, even though, being in a registry of peace is better, but still, guys, you're not telling us everything. How many of you would really like to know the whole process of what's going on? It's like, and then have your own choice to make your choice. It's not like, oh, they're going to trick us again. Oh, it's going to be like this. Oh, we got to do this because we got to be polite to the people. Bullshit. Just give it out to them. Watch what happens. Because we can guarantee that it won't be exactly as what everybody thinks it is. The resetters, the dysfunction, the shadow, everybody else is in for some very big surprises. And even the angels in heaven are not given all of the information because this is the wild card. And guess who's holding some of the best hands in this whole game? You guys. So, this is like, all right, since you are the consentors, you have also the greatest knowledge base. And so you have the best, You're the best enabled, the best equipped, most experienced, and everything else to deal with this because obviously it's going to be way beyond the third dimension. You got multidimensionality. You got absolute multi. It's like whoa. Everything that you guys are is what is involved and beyond. But you'll get to that as it comes along. You don't need to look for stuff anymore, do you? Because it's coming in your face. And if you got any crap, any sandbags of emotions or luggage or past karma or village idiot stuff or whatever, oh, sir, so silly. It's like, oh, yeah, well, guess what? That's why you have the middle finger on your back shirt, because that's the only thing they're going to see that fading away because now they're on their own. Because you don't need to pay the price. You never did. But you guys are nice people. So let's get those codes, shall we? And give it to the most enabled people. And these are the codes of destiny. Now, disclosure on this. The codes of destiny are the master matrix. It is the master file that then will be that which will be the greatest instruction set for the original Genesis program for humanity. So this is destiny, right? Imagine how organized, categorized, and structured this whole thing is. Before you come in, this is all set. And just to let you know, this isn't the only divine plan that was able to be offered up. There are other ones, and they knew that was probably going to be messed with. So well, let's just see what happens with this. And so here you guys are now at this place where the destiny doesn't even work like it used to. Well, then it's time to bring out the real stuff. When people would see what we do as the Kartron, and they would say, ooh, that's really nice. And you notice how this world is proprietary. And it's like, okay, whoa, ooh, can't do this. Oh, keep it a secret. Everything else, oh, we can make money on this. It's like, okay, let's just give everything that we do away. And so since 1994, we've been doing that. And so the people would then take this information of this three primary methods, God Gate Pillar of Transformation and the Still Point and stuff like that, and introduction of quantum science, and they'd run with it. And we'd say, go, make money, have fun, do the great work. You go out there and make a name for yourself or whatever. And so it was seen that in this pattern, that when beings take this information not for the highest intent, then they can take it as far as what their covenant allows. And so, not having rite of passage, if they don't have the highest intent, then they will take it a certain way. So, guess what? They become our marketers, and we get a lot of free information because we gave them the stuff that seemed like the greatest stuff ever, which it was to them. But this was the foundation information that we needed to have seeded into the world. And so, for those who've taken the information, yay, oh no, it's taken from us. And now we're going to take out and bring out the real stuff. And this is when a return's going to come for us and for you. Because now you're going to take this and create a permanent change in your own life, something that will have value for your whole existence here as you become the immortal soul again. For now, it's time to bring out the real stuff. That was stuff that we then offered up and let people have it. And good for them for making a benefit. Patrick had this pattern where he would not get paid, where he would be the one on the short end because he wouldn't fight it. And he wouldn't be in that level. And it's like, okay, well, somebody took something from me. Okay, I guess that's supposed to be. But he was not supposed to intervene. Right? So if you guys are in service and you're giving away your information or whatever, and you're wondering, should I charge or whatever? And you're like, some people say, well, you're a pushover. How dare you giving all this work, all this lifetime? But you're still sensing it on the most innate levels where the greatest voice of silence exists, then you are following your higher destiny program. Because you do not prescribe or proscribe to this petty level of third dimensionality because you are in service of the greater call. Does that make sense? So now, as this happens, your programs are going to change. What will occur if you get these master codes? Okay, there will become a level of responsibility with it. And if you just allow it to be governed by the principalities of which it is in the jurisdiction of, instead of you attempting to do something with it, then you won't have to create a big debacle or a mess that you may have to spend quite some time cleaning it up. And we say quite some time, think about a universal day of 26,000 years. And so if you guys are ready, then we can get those codes to you. Does that sound good? We want to, and so we're going to then bring this out. We're going to bring this out, and Patrick goes, okay, I just wrote this Kartron, your turn. But these master code sets are for those of you who can handle it. Today, Patrick was facilitating a conversation between Hawaii and Australia. And it was talking about, did I create a rather interesting disaster on the West Coast because of the energy that I was in and didn't clear out as I was going to do something because a certain radio station burned to the ground 2 or 3 days before I was supposed to do my seminar. And so did I, because I wasn't in the proper vibrational space, create this thing where this other thing manifested. Now, there's a lot of collective consent. There's individual consent and all of that. And you've heard of probably hear of the whole spectrum, like the directed energy weaponry or whatever. And if you look at the pictures, you'll see that houses burned when flammable trees did not. And so it's a very precarious thing. But if you look at it as a matrix completely of the light and dark, it's just part of the fabric, then you'll see that it's basically the result. The effect is what is the effect. Now, what that person was getting was that, oh, I better be careful with the power of divinity and destiny that I get in these higher levels. Patrick has seen very destructive ends to divine energy when it's not used properly. And even one thought in a non proper aligned space can have the opposite effect, and now it's ripping through and doing something. And so there is a very modicum of honor, respect, reverence to the point of grace. This is perfect time because this is a season of grace, is to where if you honor it in the right way, then that energy will be for what it's used for. What you have on this planet right now is a collective planet-wide misuse of that divine energy. And so, who of all beings could straighten that up? And you can see how this is something to be very, very aware. If you did not come from these divine realms, if it is not inherently in your beings, then you are going to be given the opportunity to discover it. Maybe for the first time in your soul's journey, about a divine energy that is so powerful that it can make or break destiny and fate. This is the power of energies such as what Lemuria had and Atlantis was discovering, but then it decided to go away from as part of its lesson cycle. So, as this occurs and the Shadow Yuga completes, and they've gone through that dark night of the soul, shadow part of the 13,000 years, everybody's waking up and surfacing from that immersive imbalance. And now you get to give this opportunity to yourselves to be available to this divine destiny. Now, one of the things so that you guys can know that we will not shout to make sure that you get something. It is not our job to make sure you hear it as you are listening. Therefore, it will be the same volume as the rest of the information. There will be opportunities to go through and go oops or ouch on a small level because you really don't want to accidentally imbalance a city and now more rage is coming out of something because you didn't really handle it gingerly and carefully and respectively and honorably, because now you're dealing with, it's like a crate full of dynamite compared to a crate full of blasting caps or TNT or whatever. It's much more concentrated, much more powerful. This energy was distorted because it was allowed to be, to amplify all that is not, to see how far it would get. It was be able to see what happens if we amplify the distortion. And you see what is happening. So you have on this planet right now the result of current and all past indiscretion, discretion, all that stuff, the crap, the disharmony, the distortion, the evil, as some would call it, coming up right now and saying, okay, and guess what we're doing? We're harvesting that information. It surfaces, we clean it up, then we slate it for disconnect. Now, does that make sense? And does that maybe give you guys a little bit more, well, comfort, not really, but does that give you a little bit more peace of mind that everything's handled in a divine way? But we're going to also share with you how to make sure to use a divine energy which can also destroy. It is this thing that is available to you now as awakening working class gods and ascended masters. For as you learn how to use these, greater and greater authority shall you be given, so that you may have a jurisdiction as you go up to your celestial abodes, your offices of heaven, and the natures of your being ascend into that process, so that you may assume the position for which you were made in your genesis of soul. What we have described to you just now, through this whole broadcast up to this moment, is the alchemy of soul that all of you are now in. Is this still acceptable and something that you guys want to continue? Because some of you might be going, oh God, should I go clean out my pants or let Daddy K finish me off? Pillarette? Oh yeah. It's going to be good for me too, baby. Oh yeah. Smoke rings to heaven. Oh yeah. Smoke rings from a pillarette become a halo of angels. Oh, yeah. Say three Hail Marys and blow a ring, and you're going to have a whole slew of angels showing up at your doorstep. Yeah, baby. All right. Archangel Michael, sound that clarion call as we open the portal to the Grand Hall of the Archangels. And Michael, could you please assume your true identity as one of the solar seven archangels that are here to ascend all life? So now expand yourself to your solar dominion. We are requesting that to show up now. It's time for your greater office to take heed of what shall soon occur in this sacred enclave of awakening. And so, guys, let's have some fun, shall we? Saint Germain, open that portal to the ascended Lord and Lady Masters of Shambhala. And Kuan Yin, could you please open your gateways through every broadcast for the states of grace, especially with Thanksgiving. We'll do a special Thanksgiving broadcast, and we'll open up the state of grace so that you can remember it every year. That way, you will feel the energy of grace that even the gods kneel in reverence for. There is a lake in Kuan Yin's garden that is filled with the prayers of forgiveness and thanks, of compassion and love. And it is this water of heaven that grace gains nourishment, for it is the prayers from those souls so rarefied as to be human, because they are the alchemists of the universe. Alchemists have to dig into the sewage and the dross in order to get the purity out of the process that they facilitate. We call upon the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the Pleiadian Venusian Alliance. We call upon the Orion High Council, and also the Lemurian High Council and the Atlantean High Council. We're also going to be asking the Council of Creation, and let's see. Oh, okay. the Crystal Council. Now, this isn't about the council that handles the minerals. We're talking about there's a crystal dimension. And it is that dimension that you're getting your illuminated light bodies, by the way, folks. So you're crystallizing. Those are the beings that oversee that. Because you are getting your light bodies. You're going from water to light. Why do you think you're here and can't get away from us? Because you're here to get ready. You go through it now, ouch, 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 and you don't go, ow, 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 later on. Get this done. Like Patrick's like, okay, I'm in the dentist chair. Yay, needles in through our mouths. This is all special. I can still feel it. We have a Syrian, hygienist. We had an Indian one 10 years ago. Now we got a Syrian. So let's just see what country's next. She was very gentle. She treated Patrick like the child that she would hygiene sometimes. And Patrick's like, yay, thank you. The trauma is still coming out of the mouth, but it was dug so deep that it got everything out, and now the gums will go back. So is that divine? A little bit of that, and suddenly Patrick has hope because he's going to learn how to regrow his bone. There's a new type of healing that we will be talking about in the near future. Would you guys like to see about pain and healing and all of that stuff? Like how we're going to do it? Because, well, let's just say we're going to show you how to take your higher self perfect body and use that as your template. Because you will never grow old. You are an immortal. How about using that as your little light body to heal and get to your divine age that you will be forever? An angel just came in, and we don't know if she wants to be seen, but uh-oh, blanket in hand. Oh no, we saw that. It was this fickle thing that showed up with a white blankie and a black sweater. Oh yeah. Do you want to say it? Do you want it? What? Not yet. It's not your turn. So guys, shall we do this? Yes, you can grow your teeth. But you guys, there is an herb that the Indians use to keep the teeth healthy, and it gives the tooth what it needs because it's alive. A root canal creates a festering nothing, right? Oh, let's just cap it off. And so it's like, ooh, mercury gets to leach out molecularly. Oh, goody, please, more amalgam. It's like, you want to really trust your health to that? The guys who get kickbacks from the dental surgeons and the chemical companies and all that stuff, like that's a real trustworthy place. Like I want to, as far as I can trust everything that's here that pretends to be what it isn't. Thank you, councils, for attending the Sacred Enclave of Awakening. We also call upon everybody's higher self. Rebecca, could you please bring in your solar councils to, we're going to ask Sole to attend with Archangel Michael of the Solar Logos. We are calling upon the councils of Helios and Vesta as well. These are the solar beings that then helped create the issuance of worlds and create the magnetic and gravitational molecules around which evolutions can occur. Because it is this magnetic attraction quality that allows souls to have a vortex to be apart. Otherwise, the capacity and auspices of evolution itself cannot adhere to ascending and awakening worlds that are being made ready for those races to land. So here we are now, councils, at this moment of great change, standing upon the precipice of this new possibility. No diagrams tonight, but hear us as we display this holographically. And everyone, we're going to put this in your mind. So just imagine it with your heart. Imagine a dimensional, multi-layered hologram, and it has different layers, and that is the time, where you can insert something and see what happens in the cause and effect, because that's actually the holomatrix map that they use to see the causes and effects. You don't just throw something in this world and say, okay, and you get a bigger oops or have to terminate a life form or something. And so this whole tryout period of this, then we are presenting to you now. So imagine that. And then, uh, all right, now everybody see a layer of information that is from heaven above the world where the spirit guides are, but yet below them, and that is at the veil level. Now imagine 7.5 billion souls on the world that you are looking at, and now see a hole each one has to the realm where their guides are. It's that level where the hole is, where the uh, eighth chakra or the divine mission statement map, the soul star, exists. And so it is this that is the organizational structure. What you guys are observing right now is the organizational structure of destiny. It's how we categorize, organize, and facilitate. This is the database of purpose. Okay, so now, isn't this an interesting thing to observe? It's like, wow. So you guys are like, whoa, look at all these little lights, because you are like God watching this in this hollow matrix. And so there's been the allowance of shadow to come in, and that was what was used to temper it, but not to destroy the whole reality this time. And so as we get into this process now, we're going to open up certain parts of the halls of wisdom. We call upon the keeper of the halls of wisdom, or the seeker. That's the one who facilitates. And all right, we've called on this years ago. And this is okay. Now, on the count of three, everybody fall back to soul. Now you can do the full breaths. First breath, breathe in, exhale, release your identity of self and all lives as you fall back to still point. Breathe in again. Okay, breathe in the stillness. Circulate, release your soul's journey. Okay, exhale, fall back to solace within. You should get really still, really quiet, and you're losing all references as you fall off the reservation of materiality. Now breathe in the solace. Curtain opens up behind you. Release your soul's journey of all lives and soul purpose. Fall back into soul. Exhale, of course. Breathe in the soul, circulate it through your beings. Illuminate the sun of God, S-U-N, within the temple of love in your heart, the crystal temple where love, it is the house of love. And now breathe in the soul energy and fall back into the center core, like the sun within your soul. This is source within. And so this spatial displacement on the count of three will take you now to above where your spirit guides are. One, two, three. So you're in yourself watching the broadcast. You're in your soul on this earth plane below the veil, in your body self. And then now see yourself up there at the same time, above where your spirit guides are. Whether you see spirit guides or energy, just imagine your higher self will also take its position. And now, as you stand above your God gate and you look down, how are you guys doing? Now look to your left, everyone. Now, you don't have to do it with your faces, um, your spirit face. Rebecca, check this out. Everyone, now look to your left. You'll see an opaque or translucent selenite like if you look through selenite, it's like a shower window or something. You will see a great stair that goes to endless columns. The stairs are to the left and it goes up to the columns on the right as you look left. We open a gateway there now. And so as we do this, go through that wall that portal, and now you'll see it's like an ancient, beautiful temple. It's actually, guess what this stuff's made of? Consciousness. So the temple itself is made of consciousness. It is what the construction material is. And now you look over there. Now we can just see ourselves going to in front of any of those columns. And actually, it's space between because you're going to be going up steps. These are the halls of wisdom. Now stand in front of those stairs and let us ascend them. You don't have to take your time with a cane or something. Just see yourself going up there and being at the entrance before the temples. And now look through into that building, if it would be called that, and you'll see basically endless rows of columns. This is the repository of the wisdom of all creation. So now we stand here, and instead of going out and looking for a scroll in E5 or whatever, we're going to call upon the obelisk, the keeper of wisdom. And so it will be about 2/3 of your height, and it'll have a geometric orb, and it will be cobalt blue. The pedestal will be cobalt blue, and it's a three-sided thing that comes to a point underneath the orb. And now we're going to ignite your heart, not with the orb, but with the soul source light within. So 1, 2, 3, we're going to illuminate your heart, temple of love, with the source that was in the soul that was circulated into your body. So 1, 2, 3. See your temple becoming so much source that it disappears because it's so bright. And now you too will be emoliated, subsumed back into the source of all creation. So therefore, as your bodies burn away and you lose all capacity of a self, separate from source, your soul and source joining together now takes your being, the individual, and subsumes it as now this holy trinity of source, soul, and self now join as one, and you become God. As you are this energy, you become this quality. This is the stuff of the crucible of creation in the heart of God. It is that forge of the universe of which worlds are made that you are the stuff of. And so feel this circulate through you, removing the last of your perception as an individual on this planet. See yourself expanding, and now the structure that you have known as your body. Let it go. Take a breath of source, and now you are no longer confined to that shape of your body, and you become the light of God within. Now, as this all transmutes, even your higher self is not necessary. And before your spirit guide stands that which was you, as you become the shining sun of the heart of God. Feel it illuminate and emoliate you. Body is no longer required. Doesn't this feel like home? Nothing to have to do. There's no care. There's no self. This is your vacation. And so now, as you become source and you breathe in that source light and the soul light and it circulates together, forming these new aspects of being, you basically get a refund on your earthly self. And now you become golden, like golden firelight, to see your new body illuminated like you are made of gold itself. This is gold, forged from the crucible of creation in the heart of God. It is this, the illumined ones, the golden light that you now become. And so now, Keeper of Wisdom, we invoke you. We are ready for the Master Codes of Destiny. Please go to the Matrix of Destiny to retrieve them for that which is mine, that I will use for my new office, to be the dispensator, the radiator, the illuminator, to give that ray to earth. Now, as you shine like the golden light they find there at the Temple of Wisdom, the halls of wisdom, that the legends are true, that eventually humanity will become the golden shining ones. And now you have been calibrated to the codes, these master codes. These are the key codes for the matrix of destiny. And the Keeper of Wisdom is now gathering them for you within its sphere. And you'll see very interesting designs if you look into that. You can peer into it and look at the action and the movement that's going on. It's like, yeah, baby, let's put all the 60s into one little container. And now say to the obelisk, Keeper of Wisdom, I am ready to become the keeper of the codes of destiny. We now open your heart of your great golden form. And now these codes go from the keeper into yourself. Some of you we are watching, or you will see these codes go and be dispersed to your body. It's like, whoa, it just kind of like went all by itself. These are taking their places to form you in the new self, which is not corporeal. It is illumination itself, and thus you are requiring a structure. If you don't have your physical body, what will you use as a body to bring in these codes, which are so great that they would vaporize flesh? You would use the structure of that sacred geometry that would hold such wisdom and power. So just feel these codes coming into you now. Some of you are getting wonderful immersions right now. Can you feel that, Rebecca? And so now, are you guys ready to become that which you were made for, which is the destiny itself? You are the keepers of those codes to unlock all destiny. And now, at this moment, you may realize that perhaps your whole journey in all these lives have led up to this moment because it was destined to be. And now breathe in these code sets and these energies. We're going to have Archangel Michael now in the sun, in the solar logos, to now breathe the fire and pierce the veils and open you up. And now his sword dipped in the waters of eternity will now be piercing through your heart. removing and shattering the illusion that has bound you and imprisoned your soul in your journey of many lives. If you are ready, then Michael will proceed. You can consent. Now, what this does, everybody, think of it like a flash drive. It's not something that's just poking a hole in your heart. As this goes in, you will feel a great change. We did say this was the alchemy of soul in this broadcast. Those have the codes within you, always have, but they needed the cipher, the cryptic encryption. And so now Michael brings in this energy forged in the sun into your being. And now, as he turns it just a bit, it opens up your being, and the codes that were imbued and received by you, this holy great gift, now awakens in 3, 2, 1. We are not going to tell you how to use this yet. Let's just say that you've gotten loaded up. We require a report from everybody. Get into the neurolinguistic syntactic integration. You can type in the chat. How are you guys doing? This brings it into the body, right? And here I am on Earth typing. Yay, breathing. So we bring it all home into the physical. And so, good. You are functioning, still breathing. You will not be able to escape that easily. Pillaret? Let's just say that with these destiny codes and the energy that we just cooked you guys with, that it'll be easier to access the timeline that you require. How many of you are like, really? This third was so last paradigm. No, thank you. You done with the crap and the pain and all that stuff? It's like, come on. So this is something that you do not have to rush. This is something that you will allow to be in its organic state. This is something that's contingent. Its enactment is contingent upon the state of potentiality in the evolution of the covenants and the fulfillment of humanity as a soul ray race. Okay? So it's got its own timing. You could even try to make something happen. I'm going to give a great destiny. It's like, nah, it's set. How do you guys like the golden being and all that stuff? How are you doing? How are you feeling, Rebecca? Good. Okay, guys, we can't really go past any further, but tomorrow Rebecca is going to give with the phone number, same phone number, right? Okay, Cartronians. What? Okay, we're going to use the same phone number, and then we're going to give that out at 6:30 Eastern. And Rebecca is going to do a cellular memory group clearing. And this will get rid of all those things. Well, the reason why you guys all gather here, that collective reasoning. There's little charges and stuff, sometimes big ones. Time to clear that out. This is to say thanks for everything you're doing. This only exists because of you, right? And so, guys, you are the Kartron in that way, right? So we get to channel ourselves. Yay, which is you. Every experience that we've given since being here in 1994 has been basically the formulation of all that we are interacting with. Therefore, we present the capacities of that really amazing stuff that you are what you are made of, but has not been activated. So in this way, we catalyze this divinity right? And embody it and express it. So we literally are channeling you in this way together. We, as a being, then create this great thing. Do you think that the universe hasn't been watching us all this time? Patrick, in his creations of writing for Hawaii and all these other things, he wrote about a lot of things, and he's like, okay, this is how government's supposed to be and all of that. But then he's starting to hear about the same words coming out of these people who are working on all this secret reset stuff. He's like, wait a second, you guys have been, well, you've been stalking me all this time. You've been watching. How come you couldn't have given me the resources? But oh well, maybe it was all in the other dimensions. And now, because vibrationally it just was not possible to be brought into this dimension without destroying it. Because remember, we aren't from this plane. We came from the realms of essence. And if that energy came in too much, the opposite of the divine blessing would occur and it would lay waste to this world. Therefore, it had to be tempered with 30 years of experience, of evolution of humanity to allow it to be made ready. Soon, you all will see the genius of your preparation, and it will unfold perfectly as part of the master plan of destiny. In this way, you've already been working the codes. Now you get to really live them. After Rebecca's gratuitous clearing, and if you guys want it, then she can have a program for some decent, really nice price membership. You can then get the monthly rate and she'll do maintenance on you guys. Patrick is like, oh God, thank you. Because it does build up. Tired of that third dimensional build up? Use Karma Way or Angel Clearing. It's a dessert topping, a floor cleaner, and an angelic cellular releasing. And then after that, Rebecca's going to have her manifestation course, second series, because people are saying, please, please, please. And it's like, okay. Now, guys, Rebecca doesn't know this, and she's listening right now, right? Each layer of manifestation is going to go into a deeper, more profound state of transdimensionality. So every issue, all these things are get to come up if you're part of a manifestation. If you got stuff that needs to be cleared out, then the angels are going to go in to you. You know how this works. They're going to go in through you, into you, and dig out all that weird, dusty stuff in your treasure chest up in your attics. And so it will dig around and get the stuff out because you know it's that little, stuff down by the bone, which could be creating the decay of your hologram that cleans it out. And you get down to the core of the issues. So that's what the clearing is happening that the angels are going to do. So if you want to be primordially released, contact Rebecca at, her number, soulfire444@gmail.com. And that'll be 8 p.m. tomorrow, audio only. The cellular clearing will be audio only at 6:30. So just by being part of the Kartron membership, then you will be able to get this to say thanks. And for all of you who've given, oh, if you only knew the blessings that you're about to receive. Also with the cellular, with the manifestation process. So imagine getting cleared and an hour and a half, an hour later, you get manifested. So for those who are doing it, think of your primary thing. What do you want? Big things are happening. And so we're not saying, gotta have Rebecca to save your life. But if you guys, you already know it, right? We never sell anything. We just inform you and just contact her. We want to thank you for being a part of this broadcast. You guys are really able to float this boat. This camper will become not a house of worship, but a house of remembering. It will become basically a temple. This reverent space, which will be similar to a temple, will be that where the angels will host and have domicile. When the divine starts having places to exist in this world, prophecy gets fulfilled. Revelation and Armageddon begins for those who are still requiring it to make way for the glory of the illumination that you guys are. So humanity is invoking this. You are being invoked by the people. Have you noticed that? Stuff's coming out of you. You're like, oh, okay, well, I gotta do this now. It's like you they find don't tell them how to do the mandatory protocols of invocation, then you gotta show up. We're just joking. You can if you want, but if you are properly invoked and they follow the protocols, then there is a mandatory production and a presence of that which you are invoking. That is about to be given to this world. You guys are the mentors, facilitators, point holders, stabilizers, pillars of heaven on earth that then allow for this to be stabilized because this is a very instability. A volatility exists on the atomic level. We'll get into that later, but just say that the atoms are not so settled. And imagine if things disassembled atomically. Big mess, lots of piles of stuff that would be much smaller than what they were when they had all that space between them. We are complete. We can go no further. This earth talk that we gave and talking about Rebecca was to bring you back into your bodies so that then you guys can say, oh, okay, because we always integrate it back into the home world of your physical earth. Each time we do this, a new pattern is set into this dimension where it's needed most. We would like to thank all your councils for all the amazing work you're doing. These great golden beings of light, soon to receive their wings with their souls, will now be able to carry on the portents of destiny as the shining ones. In this, prophecy reenacts to this world, and they then can radiate, illuminated, that light to awaken all of humanity from its curse of forgetting. For this, they are the gifts, and we are grateful beyond reason for their presence here. Thank you, everybody. We are complete. And may the grace of God forever shine through your beings, illuminating the world for all to see. Farewell. Some of the coolest broadcasts are when the most reverence is left behind. It's like, wow, something holy just occurred. That's what I'm feeling right now as I enter back through the different fields that Kartron invoked as I land in this body. So that was juicy. There's nothing more to say. You know Rebecca's email if you want to sign up for that. I was going to take you to a thing called Illumination tonight, but it's too cold and it was $30. So we're doing it here in the Angels 911 studios. Guys, thank you so much for all of this support. It's really working. We're doing this together. We're about ready. The pocket door felt like that's a good investment. So this place is getting there. And thank you for your support because it's kind of disheartening and discouraging when you have all this extra work. But it's going to be just fine because talk about a beautiful place. Thanks to Rebecca and her decorating ideas and the fact that she's hired me to be the guy that gets to dig into spiders. Anyway, she's up in council and I'm feeling wonderful right now. This is the energy that we complete with now. And we want to thank you guys for being here on this episode 7, which is the Master Codes Alchemy of Soul of the 25th season of the Kartron experience on this 17th day of the 18th year, November. So, guys, we'll talk to you later. Life is good. If you have any other questions, oh, that was yummy. Oh boy, just keeps getting more juicy. Have a nice day. Life is good. Woohoo. Um, any questions and comments, you know how to get a hold of me. Bye. Oh, Thanksgiving's gonna be really nice. We got a nice thing. What do we got? This is yummy. So yes, 21st. That's the review of Lives and Soul. Then the next day, Thanksgiving, 22nd. Thanksgiving, that's when Kartron invokes the states of grace, which is above the level of manifestation of the gods. It's Kuan Yin. See you later.